Okay, so kind of doing a daily door knock video for every door that I knock. The end of October 2017. So I knocked this door, and what first thing the screen door was open, and the door was open, but the screen door was shut. So you couldn't really see in there. I could smell pot, but it seemed like an older lady and an older man. So she was very receptive. And they were both there. Okay, so she started talking, and she's like, "So are you? Yeah, I'm definitely interested. It's not for sale right now, but if you leave me your name and your phone number, we'd be happy to call you back." So, and she's like, "Are you looking to settle in here?" And I'm just straight up. I'm like, "No, I'm really just looking to, buy the property and possibly resell it. So I pay cash for it, And I'm under the impression that you're, in foreclosure," which they are. So she was really nice. And as soon as I said that, the husband, you could just hear him in the background, and he's like, "Please leave my property. This is my house, and we're not selling it." So, and then, I was like, "Oh, no problem. You guys have a wonderful day." Started to walk away. I could hear them arguing. Okay, so this is an emotional situation, all right? She's really nice. He's really the opposite of her. And they're frustrated and emotional. So, again, if they have a choice, they would be able to keep their home. So we don't know if they have a choice yet, but what we're going to do is continually follow up. So we're going to knock the door again. And again, it's a Saturday in the morning. So like they had the door open. They don't expect anybody to knock on the door. But since I'm out and I'm being proactive, I know that, okay? So I'm putting all of that information into my CRM, into my system. I'm taking notes. And so again, the home is going into foreclosure in about a month and 10 days. They're going to sell it at an auction if they don't do something, okay? So I'm going to continually knock on the door, or I'm going to have one of my other guys do it, okay? So if they don't like me for whatever reason, it's not even about that. Like they might just change their tune. Their emotions might change, and when they get into a desperate situation, they really have no choice but to sell their property. Again, I don't want to screw these people, but again, at the same time, we're trying to make money, and we want to be able to get them to the next chapter of their lives if they can't actually do anything. She's receptive, he's not. So we want to get them in a position, if they cannot sell or save their property, that that they can move on to the next chapter. The best thing you can do for people is really save their credit in this business anyway, because they want to be able to buy a new home in like a year or something like that, because when you save their credit, when you buy their house, it shows up on their credit report that they owned a house and then they've sold it. So it doesn't, if you lose it to the bank, it goes on your credit report for 7 years. So it puts them in an even deeper hole. So again, I will just follow up with this property. But again, like going to the door, they've received 1 million letters, 1 million phone calls, but actually going to the door, I figured out probably the type of situation that I'm dealing with where they're arguing about it. He's probably the more dominant figure of the couple, and he's probably going to be the one that makes the decision. So he's going to be the harder person to deal with. But again, that's okay, because if he can't do anything, what is he going to do? He has to do something. So and it might work out, might not. But they've probably been together for years and years and years and years. She was a sweetheart. He was just a little bit more harder to deal with. And again, I'm looking for a win-win-win situation when the time comes. So I'm just going to be patient, and maybe knock it in again, they just weren't going to give me their phone number. But I will show up again. Like I'm putting it on my whiteboard to follow up, or I'm having a tracking system that I use that alerts me when to knock it. So I'll knock it in maybe, another 2 weeks or something, like a week and a half, and just, see where they're at. Because when it starts to get time to do something about it, they're going to be a little bit more receptive and their emotions are going to change. So again, with the 3 stages of a pre-foreclosure as far as human behavior goes, first they get really like upset, when people start to bother them, knocking on their door, making phone calls or whatever, and then they get depressed about it. These people are still a little bit upset. They probably have people knocking on their door, and are receiving a million phone calls. But they're eventually going to be desperate if they can't do anything. Again, I want people to keep their homes if they can, but if they can't, I want to be able to give them options. So that's the motherfucking name of the game, all right? So again, I don't take anything personal. He can like me or not like me, but when it comes down to it, if he doesn't have an option and I'm there, he's going to love me then, okay? Because it's going to put him into the next chapter of his life, which, life doesn't end at a foreclosure. And again, if you have to sell your house, and it puts some actual cash in your pocket and saves your credit, you're really at a better position, because you're only a year away from actually purchasing another home. If you for whatever reason you can build your credit back up and you don't have a foreclosure on your record, banks see that, and that's important. So if you have a foreclosure, most of the time you're not going to receive a loan anyway on your record for the next 7 years. But if you sell it, even if you don't sell it at the price that you actually want or get the money that you actually want, your credit is saved and you can get back on your feet. So essentially that's what a win situation would be for them. I would make some money, my buyer would be able to rehab the property. But again, if you get it, the people that are in emotional situations, you want to remain calm. Don't take anything personally. If they're combative, just be nice. He just obviously just didn't want to deal with it right now. So again, I'm just going to follow up with him, and again, I'm going to be nice again. If he answers the door and he yells at me again, okay, great. And then you can work, when you work with a team of people, you have somebody else go, and maybe they might get the somebody to, he might at one point in time be like, okay, well, what can you actually do for me? And then he starts to talk, and then that's when you start the negotiation, and then you bring in a closer and you just let them know, look, I can do this for you, or what is it that you want? What is it that you need to get to the next level or to the next chapter of your life? Those type of questions. Again, the more that you have questions, the more questions you have, you start to control the situation, and then you have a contract ready for them to sign, and just be like, look, again, we got to see how much money that you owe. Everything's going to be done through the title company. You're not actually going to receive a check from me. It's going to be at the title company anyways. They're the middlemen, and that builds trust. That builds rapport, and they start to be more receptive, and then they will actually sign the contract. So again, Nate Ness Education, second door of the day. I got somebody to answer the door. So and I'll let you know what happens on the next door. Have a good day.